Okay. Good morning. How are people doing? So, I've been running. I probably should pull up. Oh, let's. Bora da blwyddyn newydd dda. Is that Welsh, Aaron? Okay. We've got a couple of things to share with you guys. Okay, so we have just crossed the line on this. We've got so this I ran some polls on Blue Sky and in the Discord, and we have our oblique pronouns. So let me actually copy so I get ia is the oblique plural you. There we go. Well, Happy New Year to you too, Aaron. I was trying to pronounce that. I don't know. I don't speak Welsh, so I may have messed that up. But here we are. And so I want to So we have this poll set up. We also have decided, patrons have decided, that in auxiliary constructions, the default behavior is to mark the agreement on both the auxiliary and the lexical verb. So that means we're going to have double marking. So we can go down to verbs, would go down to so it was this way. Oh. Right. So agreement is typically marked on both the auxiliary and the verb, the lexical verb, but tense, aspect, mood is only on the auxiliary. Well, that's very simple. Breathing. Okay, I think I was not too far off then. It is a little bit tricky with W being both a consonant and a vowel, right? Okay. So, we have this. I realized one thing as I was working here is that I sort of, when I did the names, I kind of assumed that there were no articles, but I kind of do want there to be articles. So, Aaron, the thing is, when you are a linguist, you just pick up these things. I need to turn on my light so you can see my face. You just kind of pick up these things. You see examples in multiple different languages, and you can see that's much better. You learn sort of how different languages work, and I had learned facts like W can be a vowel in Welsh orthography and stuff like that, and just sort of I can reasonably well pronounce like isolated names and such, but not very fluid. You know? Hi, Logan. How you doing? So, that's those two things resolved. And now I'm kind of I'm actually a little bit in between on a couple of things that I need from the locative forms and this inclusive form. Down to Fae business. Yeah. So, I was thinking actually for the inclusive forms, we could have something derived, something like chufia. Actually, I think if we run this through Lexergy, and yeah, or the other way, yeah. Peekaboo! Good morning! Oh, goodness. You want to say hi to people? Ah! This is Dorothy. This is the youngest. She just woke up, you can tell. And she just wanted to say hi. Okay. Let me switch over. Okay. So, let's... Oh, where is my... apply this. Ooh. Look at this. Sophia. S2E18. Okay, so I actually, yes, I'm not even going to do a vote or anything. Copy. So this is what we're going to do. Control V. So if we did like a thing of I think we'll leave it there. I think that sound changes into the dialects will obscure that further, so that you won't actually know that this is derived from a combination of this. This is sort of inspired by Tokpisin's Yumi, right? Yumi is their inclusive plural, first person inclusive. They have Yumi, and the dual is Yumi Tupela. Right. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, if one thing is being difficult for you, then you can move on to other things. Now, I'm liking. We've got, it's kind of a paradigmatic thing going on here, right? We've got the kapusi, kapu, kapud, kapug, and then we've got the k. It's almost like we end up with a k suffix and prefix, and like as this develops, then we could even lean into that more, do an analogy slice, and make this into a prefix, right? A lexicon, Aaron. So the lexicon, I find the lexicon very fun. Hi, you got a book? You want to sit on Daddy's lap with your book? Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay. Why don't you go up to Mommy? Huh? Now, the question is, what do we do with the locative? Hi, Jake. The locative is something I'm a little concerned about. Because I'm not concerned about it. Sorry. Let me rephrase this. So, with the locative, what we are dealing with is like, okay, these all got derived from these different demonstratives, which I haven't actually defined or anything. But we can maybe we can sort out what these actually meant later. They might also be sources for articles in the daughter varieties. Who knows? But we've got these oblique forms, and the question is, for first and second person, we have some options here. Separate suppletive forms. We could have forms derived from the oblique, or we could have forms identical to the oblique. And we could also have forms that are identical to the defaults, right? But I think it would be better for the default case situation to remain only for the to remain just available for the why is my brain not working? The core roles, right? So I think these three options are what I am interested in.
Why you need that pull-up thing?
What?
Why you need that pull-up thing?
This is my microphone. This is a stabilizer, so the microphone doesn't shake. This is my stand, and this is a pop filter. That means when I am talking into the mic, my spit doesn't go into the mic and make pop 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 sound. You don't get it. Okay. Okay, so the question is, are we going to just copy paste these over? Are we going to do some kind of derivative, or are we going to make it identical? And this is the kind of question I would usually do with patrons. However, since y'all are here, why don't we do that poll here? How are the first and second person locative pronouns related to the oblique pronouns? And here are the options again. Completely different suppletive forms. Okay. Derived by affix. Add an option. Identical. Boda becomes Boda, but well, if you have the sound changes to back that up, that's totally cool. Okay. And I'm just going to do that as a YouTube poll. Let's just run that. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, obliques are object of prepositional phrase, and also maybe I could call it dative. They're not for accusative. This default case, this is a weird thing about this language, is that I rolled to have oblique cases but not core cases. 3,000 years. That's very That's that is quite um, that is quite ambitious, Aaron. I'm usually aiming for about 1,000 years before anything I'm going to use, but that can be, modified by, okay, well, what am I going to use also means where am I going to get the writing system, and also is there going to be, are these languages going to be related? So do I need to have to know where the split is, that kind of thing. Um, but yeah, that's interesting. Okay, okay, and we're okay. We have okay. I'm gonna end the poll. Okay, so you guys, this has been this was a bit of an exciting poll to watch, but you guys decided that we just stick an affix on here. So we're gonna go with a prefix or a suffix. Um, let's just for no reason just do a prefix. Um, maybe it was originally a locative preposition, and which will fit in with the theme of what we're doing now, because we are going to do inflected prepositions. And this actually informs what how our inflected prepositions work. So here's what we will do then. So let's copy this over to here. And let's find something to get our, is this just my own announcement? Yeah, this is my own announcement that we went live. Okay. So copy these over here. And now, by the way, who here watched the Christmas quiz or listened to the Christmas quiz? Not really much to watch. That's um, um, let's grab a few different. This is nice. I'm going to aim for monosyllabic. So I don't really want ia or I. Oof. Give me a second here. Okay. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. Okay. All right. Now, I think we will take these and let's do a poll here. Create a poll. What is the origin of the locative pronoun prefix slash the preposition at? And we can refine what the meaning of this preposition is, but we will go start from there. So let's go with a new. So ranking poll, random. Yeah, guys, I was meaning to do Conlang year this year, but I got a lot going on, so. We don't have a lot of these very simple only vowel roots, so we'll throw in a few there, see how you like those. And we will close the poll today at, I'll give you till 8:40. And create. Yeah. So we'll check those results at 8:40. And then we will have this all sorted out. But we can actually already start working on our prepositions. And you know what that means? Chat. Do you remember how we did prepositions before? It's been a long time. Tongues and runes. It might be in Draconic. Okay, relative positions. Okay, this is the one that we did for Ndakaga. I'm going to delete all of that. Save this as, go to Sylvan. Save this here. Well, let me explain what is going on here. So, this is a set of assets that I developed. We have, I guess this is isometric representations of many different possible spatial relationships. And here we can we'll throw in, somebody actually did their own, but this is something that's somebody shared this word, and I think I did the thing. So like if you have a word that says to be against, to be touching, you can have all of these touching things arranged. So what? E. Hold control, George. So here, let's zoom in on view, zoom to selection. So these are post positions from Ndakaga to give you an idea. And you can see, so the yellow faces mean that the ball is touching. The ball, let me see if I get this right. Okay, so fa, yeah. So the ball is the noun that is modified by the postpositional or prepositional phrase. Okay? The cube is the object of the preposition or postposition in this case. And so fa means under, either touching or not touching, right? Fakit means surrounding. You don't need to use this for adpositions. You can use it for all kinds of other things. Nyade just means beside. I just didn't throw in all of the other possible besides because like it was too much. Ja means in front of. Ape means behind. Jenge means in front of, but touching the front of something, against the front of something. And apim means against the back of something. So this is a way that I made for myself. I had meant to make this available for everyone. I just haven't like thrown this into like a document that everybody can use, unless that's on the Patreon somewhere. But and also a red face means that this is two things facing each other, which is not, to be honest, it's not that likely for a language to have all of these, any of these distinctions. It's usually just facing, right? But well, I mean, it's possible. So this is why I do this. It actually helps me separate out from English and think more in the, I was about to say abstract terms, but it's actually more concrete terms. We're taking away the linguistic symbols that we have and then symbolizing just the actual, we're depicting the actual spatial relationship. So we have, and I don't think this is entirely exhaustive. There are definitely things, there's definitely going to be something missing. For example, actually, this ega, I realized I had forgotten to do, and I don't know if I ever put it in. Maybe I will build a whole complex of that in all orientations later, so that I'm sure that we have ways of depicting through. But let's go back to our poll quickly. And it's almost okay. You got 8 seconds. Wow. That's a three-way tie. Okay, I'll just throw in a YouTube poll. Okay. Or let's okay, here's what we'll do. I can duplicate this. Turn off. And so D, U, and A. I will remove all of the losers. And I'm not gonna. I will. I will create this poll and share it. And I will. It's a little bit tricky. Okay. So I will be. I will watch these results come in, and we'll. Ah. What? Okay, let me edit. Turn off the schedule. Save changes. Why is it still saying that? Ah. Okay, I guess I have to have. I guess I have to have the schedule. Save changes. Okay. Edit. Okay. Well, I will give till 8:45 then. Uh, 45. Save changes. Okay, now you should be able to. Now you should be able to vote. Okay, now you should be able to vote. Okay. Oh, we only had one vote. No, I'm not gonna. Okay, let's give you till 50. Okay. Now it's working. Okay. Okay, come in, get your votes registered in there, and then we will deal with this thing here. But anyway, that one is gonna mean at, and I don't know whether I can really pull. Let's refine that a little bit. So let's say what at could mean. Usually, it's going to be something that's outside, but it's nearby. This sort of complex probably exemplifies at. And then let's think about what other spatial meanings we're going to work with. Now, well, I'm going to start with spatial ones, this time and not do grammatical until later. We have, this is filling something, whereas here we have inside and touching things. Ooh. Inside and touching. And then we have, where is just inside? Oh, just inside is in there, right? We also have into, where's, like, this is an into from all directions, and then this is where's my, okay, here's my into. So let's actually like start sorting out these distinctions, huh? Okay, just to get started on working on these. So we have inside, we have like at the top of, at the side of, at the front of, at the bottom of, at the back of, and also filling a space, right? Touching all sides. It's adpositions. These are for prepositions. But I mean, you can also do directional adverbs with these things, right? We might do some like other word classes with this. I like to work with adpositions this way because so much of adpositions is based on the things. Now, so something I could do. Let's view, zoom out, and something I could do. So we've done with ndakaka basically having inside and into be the same. Like, she means in or into. But we don't have to do that. Another possibility we could do is and also so this is designed in a way that like I have an empty face in the place where the ball is going in. Let's actually can we view? Let's zoom out to the whole drawing. Let's go, where is R2 toward? This is away from, this is out of, this is to or toward. Aaron, that is exactly where I was going. We could say this, the inside one is separate, and then these two are together. And to simplify our representation, We can just, well, not that. I don't want to go into the back one as my default one. Oh, that's why. Ungroup. And so we have one that means both of these. So to and toward, into and to or toward end up being the same. And we can just align those together. Yeah, that does the thing. But inside, it's just going to be on its own. Yeah. So this is the idea. So this is why I built this, is so that I can go through and make unique distinctions. And then we'll use this as representative. I think maybe filling up and just being inside of something is going to be the same. These ones I don't necessarily need, though. No, I mean, like, they can be implied by these, but it's like different. So let's draw. I didn't mean to draw a circle. I want a polygon. I want a rectangle. Why? What is going on here? Yeah, create rectangles and squares. But it's drawing a circle. Oh, because it's got this. Okay, what I want to do is in a place and inside. Yeah, I think what you're talking about, I would translate in Welsh then as more as at. Um, for um, in bed. Well, I mean, this is the thing. Like, prepositions and adpositions are complicated. This is still simplifying what actually happens in natural languages. But let's just go and make this sign. This, well, take out the, make a stroke. Stroke style can be dashed. Stroke paint can be cyan. Value. And this needs to be thicker. There we go. And then do this one too. Right. So these are two separate postpositions. Yes. Which is why I do this. Yes, Logan, you can't translate adpositions in isolation, which is one reason I do this, is I figure this out. And probably what I want to do with this language is I want to do all of the locative meanings first, and then we will, relative to biggest object, do this, and then we can do these together, and then group those, and then do this and this. This is just making it look kind of nice. That's how you do it. Okay. So we've got a couple of prepositions here. Let's check our poll. Guys! Okay, I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm going to make an executive decision that it's D. And what we're going to do is, this is prepositions. Let's go D, and this equals at or by or beside or in a place. And we can figure out the and here's what we're going to do. We go back to the pronouns. And we're going to, instead of doing anything, we're just going to stick this on like this. And here's my thought. The distinction does not exist here. Okay. Okay. So dekai. Now this is interesting. This is going to be a little bit funky. Yeah. Okay, so sorry, I was obscuring chat with my thing there. This is gonna be give us some trouble. Yeah. So what we can do, we have a ya. I'm gonna have this happen sort of very recently. Dia. Dikai, Dikai, DT, Dichi. So it just kind of got stuck onto the modern forms. That's another option. So we can contract this to dia. Yeah, I think I like that better actually. So these will be very irregular. Uh, we can let these be very irregular. However, this actually, I was thinking of making it defective, but actually, we can give it a full paradigm if we want to. So, Aaron, you can correct me if I'm wrong. However, my understanding is that the inflected prepositions of Celtic languages are a result of exactly this process. What happens is you get a preposition and a pronoun compounded together and formed into a contraction. And so we're not going to have a ton of prepositions, and they're very high frequency. So rather than work in sound changes at this point, I'm going to say these happened quite late, and we're going to jam them together and like figure out case by case what happened. So, what do we need to do for that? So, what we need is we need, so they're only going to distinguish singular and plural. Yeah. And so, Aaron, one thing I have a question on. Do you use the inflected form to agree with a nominal object? Can you have a noun after one of the inflected preposition that agrees with it, or do you just use the base form when you have a full noun as the object? Oh, they're similar to present tense verbal affixes. That's interesting. Um, I think I'm going to like be contracting pronouns because I've done just sticking a verbal affix on before. Now it's gonna look similar, but we're gonna let's insert a table. We want singular and plural. We want first person, second person, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 classes. And we have, so I mean, it's something I can look up and make sure that I'm doing right, that I'm that I understand right later. But to get get what you have. So like let's say that English had these prepositions, and the one for of, you had of me, of you, you, of him, of her, of him, right? And we had a sentence like this is so weird. Okay. Let's go two. Two is easier to you, to him, to her, to him. Right? Right. Right. So yeah, that's what I'm asking is if you have a sentence, I gave it to them. Give that and translate it to that. Would it be still? Would it be I gave it to Jake, or would it be I gave it to him, Jake? You guys get what I mean there now? So Tinglish is saying that Irish doesn't do that, right? So we need a base form. I think so. Let me think on that. So at least in Irish, you can't have this happen. Then it has to be, there has to be a pronominal reference. If it's a nominal, then it just doesn't have agreement. That is what I am looking for. So let's go back to verbs, and where is that agreement stuff? Oh, we need pronouns is what we need. So get this. And get this. Okay. So does that, yeah. Okay. Let me, okay. Welsh pronouns, so I understand what's going on here. Okay. Okay. What I'm understanding here is that, yeah, so this is with the pronominal reference. It's I gave it to him. What I'm getting at, what I'm understanding, okay, what I'm understanding from you guys is that in Irish, it definitely has to be this way. You can't do the inflected preposition agreeing with a noun. But in Welsh, this one is available. So if that's the case, then I can make this like a dialect thing. I'll say that in Middle Fae, it is still always like this. And maybe like in the night dialect is going to be more conservative, then that will still be the case where you are not allowed that. But like in the twilight dialects, maybe they have moved on, and you get structures like this sometimes. And then within the Koine, you'll have both available, and maybe to fit poetic meter or something, you end up doing things. Why I'm buffering constantly right now? Are you guys hearing me? Okay, I may be delayed quite a bit because I kept seeing the stream buffer on my on here. Uh, am I having trouble with connections? Oh, now. Okay. I think it may be. Let me see. Am I caught up? Okay. So I guess my upload is not being affected, but it's buffering on me viewing the thing. Uh okay. So that's good to know. Let's go back. Let's so so now this has already taken over in first and second person, but it coexists with this in Middle Fae. However, this will still have a full paradigm. So we need to go back and we need to grab okay, where's our nouns? We go to noun classes, and we need to go just stick these in here, and this will make sense in a second. And we will in noun classes again. I'm just going to fuse the prepositions and the pronouns together to make it's a little bit so. I think this is actually looking a little bit more like Spanish forms like conmigo, conmigo, consigo, consigo, contigo, right? Where you had the this came from Latin conmecum, consecum, contecum. And it's just like the pronoun fused to the thing, right? Atoch. Oh, that's great. Give way to vehicles to you. That's great. That's great inspiration. So, And then we have, let's, dude, deek. And we will pull a similar trick that we did here. We will just have, we'll make it deek, deepug, deepow, diab, and D. And what I think I'll do here is we're going to delete this, and then we're going to go with it sort of like the earlier verb change was still a little bit active a little bit, and we ended up with diab. And this one, the thing is, like, I will lose the distinction with class 1 plurals. Die. So we have some options. So for this one, for die, I could leave it alone and let further sound changes take care of it. So literary / colloquial distinction. That's a good question. I think the thing is, my primary intent is to create a spellcasting language and write spells. Okay. So, given that, we probably just want to do one thing. And also, the thing is, this is a koine that we're going to make eventually. So, like, within the day, night, dawn, and dusk, there might be colloquialisms involved. However, in the broader koine, that is used for communication between Fae realms and between the Fae and between fairy and peoples on the prime material plane. So that's really just gonna be one register most of the time. So I'm not going to be too fussed about that. So I am of two minds of this. Die. So, okay. So, die. The problem of die. It's really weird. So, we can leave it at die. We can have D and completely lose that. We can have dia and lose the distinction between second person and class 1. Or we could have die, like push this down just one step further, and we have maybe even just have this like this, die, and we preserve the distinction. So, which one do you guys like best? Let's do a straw poll for that. Why is my internet so slow? Let's see. What is the class 1 plural of D? And we have our options will be, you know, and we resolve that with sound changes later. Let's just do it this way. Here we go. Yeah. And I'll make this just a multi-select, multiple choice. Give you till 9:30 on this one. Okay. Let me give you guys that link. And we won't worry about that so much. And then class 5. So this is unmarked here. We do have class 5 pronouns. So my question here is whether we want to throw in the class 5 pronouns or not. So it would just be you do kepu, right? So the options for that would be 5 would be D or D kip. Right. Or maybe do an irregular descent one like DKIP or DK. Right? So that one I will think on. However, this bare form will exist somewhere, right? For now, I'm going to merge these. Whatever this ends up being, it's going to be the same for singular and plural because there is no distinction in the oblique. So, this is one example of a paradigm. And one thing I will say while you guys are voting on this is this will only be for D. Other other prepositions will end up with a different sets of forms that I will all work out, and some of them might merge in other places than this one. But this is the way that we're gonna do it this way. So and there are also ways that if we lose this distinction, then maybe we end up with other. If we lose a distinction here somewhere, there may be ways that people disambiguate. Anyway, let's go back to this and let's start working out more of these so that we have the thing, everything like sorted out. Let's go look at above and below. Now, in Ndakaga, we had no distinction between above and on top of, no distinction between below and on the bottom of, basically. Another thing you could rope into here would be these ones. Right? So within these like three things, how do we want to break up distinctions? I don't think I want to do into the top. And also, just for another thing to look at, out of, and I don't think I need to have this. I can have, we have out of, and we have, no, this is away from. Where is out of? Out of is here. So we could do like this and be mirroring that, or we could make these separate. To make it slightly less paradigmatic. And I'm thinking that I want to do that, and I want to do this here. And we're going to make sure we have one of these. Right. Scroll wheel. Okay. What else do we want? I think we can do surrounding with a different kind of structure, maybe. Okay, that poll should be ended. And okay, basically with 50%, we've got the D, so it just loses all agreement morphology. And again, this is a thing. We could now this one D D D D D D D D. I think this one becomes this D D, which I think actually exists somewhere else as something else, but that's not a big deal. Homophones are not a big deal. It's somewhere in verbs. No, it doesn't exist as its own word anywhere. Why people are being very active on Discord right now, and that's a little bit annoying. Yeah, that might be a good idea to come up with a new word. I mean, homophones are not a bad deal. Are not bad, but there's some times where like they might be used in similar places, right? Okay. So this is going to be how we work this out. Dude. Dude. This is not as likely for me to merge together. So I think so D2 DK DC dude D, maybe this one will become DK or something. D2 dia dpig dpow dib. Yeah. I mean, that's a thing that happens is you get a homophone in one place and something else moves in to fit into the semantic space in order to make things more distinct. So this is good for distinctions right here. I like to have one for facing. Back to back, I'm not so interested in. But I like to have a preposition for facing. So I'm just going to have one that just generally means facing. We had a distinction in Ndakaga between facing horizontally and facing vertically, but I'm not going to do that here. And I don't know, why do I still have this like all here? And another thing is there can always be disambiguation here. Yeah, this is interesting. Oh, how do we feel? What do we feel about this one? What do we want to group this with, possibly? This would be basically on. I think actually this one is going to be a little bit weird. So it's sort of, so it has this same thing as English on, where English on is just touching. However, it can also be touching the inside. So it's going to be a little bit like wonky to English speakers to get a grasp of this particular weird meaning of it. We could say that it originally meant this and it moved on to these two. I think this is about all that I want to figure out here. One thing about working on adpositions, and this applies to many things when you're making a conlang, is you want to resist the temptation. Let me record this. I'm gonna make sure I record a clip of this. Can I record and stream at the same time? Yeah. Okay. One thing about working with adpositions, and I'm saying I'm going to stop here for now with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. That seems like a good number. Anytime you're doing something like adpositions, like cases, like aspects or moods or something, anything where you could make up a ton of different categories to cover every possible case, don't do that. The reason I say this is, like, you're always going to have some limit. And if you don't limit yourself at the outset, you will end up with just keep on adding another preposition, another affix, all of that stuff. The best thing to do is do a certain number and just like stop. And then once you are in doing translations and doing all of your work with like whatever writing project or translation project you're doing, then you can look at the stuff that you have and say, before you coin anything new, say, how can I make these functional items that I have do the thing that I need in this particular instance. So like, I have just these. And maybe uh, later on, I will come up with a spell incantation that I will need to have some other something else. Like maybe I will absolutely need to have a beside, which we kind of have. We kind of have a beside. It's not depicted here, but we have a touching thing. We have a going away from. We have an at. We could just grab that. Or we need what is not represented here? What is one that's not represented here? We maybe I decide that I absolutely need a way to say things that are going toward each other. There we go. Now, I could go back to my thing, and I do have a thing for that, and I could just go here, grab that, come here, make a word for it. Or I can say, okay, I don't actually have a preposition for that. So I'm going to have to decide whether I'm going to use a construction that uses this preposition or use a construction that uses this preposition, and do some other things around it in order to convey that meaning. So that's my conlang tip for today. Make sure to limit your functional items at the outset, and do not be tempted to keep adding more functional elements as you need them. You can if you feel you really need it, but try to make constructions out of the stuff you have first. Okay. Okay, so we have made a good bit of progress. I am going to do social media polls I'll be posting my straw polls to get responses on like what the forms will be for these, and then for a patron poll, I think I will do this because this is going to affect. I may just make it up or down. Do we do class 5 as just the base root, or do we combine it with Kepu in some way, right? Yeah, this is. I find this very useful for anything doing grammatical relations like this. Anything else that we want to do? But yeah, so we'll work out forms for all of these on stream. Not on stream, sorry. On Blue Sky, all the social media places. I will send out polls on, and patrons will get to decide on this particular thing. Maybe, since we've got about 15 minutes, we can do one more of these prepositions here. And you guys can choose a form for that. So, how about we just do above? What is going to be our word for above? And we are going to go back. Straw poll. We're going to go. Okay, let's go back to. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to eliminate this one. And we go on, what is the preposition above? This is how I do these, by the way, is I just make a bunch of different roots and show advanced settings, give you guys until 9:50. Let's make it 9:52, just because I will give you a little extra time that way. And I will share that, copy it. Okay. So, you guys get that vote taken care of. I am going to take a look here. Oh, okay. And, yeah. And we will copy this thing. Okay. Object, yes. With a nominal object, the base form of the preposition is used. This will be a split in the dialects between, there will be, let's say there will be a split between the dialects. Those that preserve this behavior and those that shift the inflected prepositions to agree with nominal objects. There we go. And there we go. This will be, okay, I need to, where's my navigation pane? Navigation, okay. So let's go back here. We're going to go back and classes. We go this. And what has our poll resulted in? Okay, we got another minute to register your votes. And then we will decide. Okay. Voting closed ago. That's funny. Okay. Okay, it's a tie between E and E. Okay. How are we going to resolve that? Let's roll. Do I have? I want a D6 and Video Ninja. Okay. Back camera. And we will connect it. And oof. It's doing funny stuff. Okay, let's go to the dice cam. There we go. 1 to 3 is E. 4 to 6 is A. Is A. Okay. But the E will still be in the running for future ones. So let's close that. I don't know why. Okay, so stream monitor. And then so it's going to be A. I'm going to write that in here. This is probably a good place to put the root right here. And so we got Esi, Aid, Ake, A, Esi. Oh gosh, I messed that up. How did that happen? Okay, so nope, this is not how it works. What did I even do? Oh gosh, what? Oh, wow. It did a weird thing. Okay. So I actually need to go and grab these pronouns. T and Kai and Chufin. Okay. And there we go. There we go. So this would be etu, etu, etuf, eya, epug, epau, eb. Let's make this a schwa. And well, let's say it's a for now. A ethi, etu ekai, ekai, eya, 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 eya. I think it just becomes eya. In this case. Yeah. I'm kind of following from here too. Eud, eud, eek, a, e. Okay, that's how it is for now. So, e. Above. There we go. Okay. And that is all I have time for. Again, I will work up the patron poll to decide this, and we're going to have polls posted on posted for the other prepositions. Maybe not get to all of them, but get a few of them done. And until next time, thank you all for watching and happy conlanging.